Dr. Nathan Brooks stood at the observation deck of the medical vessel Mercy's Light, watching the massive space station Kepler-7 grow larger in the viewport. The station looked like a giant silver wheel spinning slowly against the starfield. This was his first diplomatic mission, and his hands felt sweaty inside his medical gloves. "Nervous?" asked Captain Lisa Morgan as she joined him at the window. She was a tall woman with short brown hair and kind eyes. Lisa had been through dozens of these diplomatic meetings before. "A little," Nathan admitted. "I've never worked with aliens before. Only read about them in medical journals." Lisa smiled. "The Zephyrians are proud people. They look different from us, but they're not so bad once you get to know them. Just remember to be respectful of their customs." Nathan nodded. He was 35 years old and had spent most of his career treating human patients in colony worlds. His specialty was emergency medicine and xenobiology, which made him perfect for this job. The Colonial Federation needed doctors who could handle alien physiology during diplomatic talks. The Mercy's Light docked at Kepler-7 with a soft thud. Nathan grabbed his medical bag and followed Lisa through the airlock. The station's interior was clean and white with high ceilings and bright lights. Human and alien crew members walked through the corridors together, but Nathan noticed they kept to separate groups. "The Zephyrians have been waiting for 3 hours," Lisa explained as they walked. "They're very punctual people. Being late is considered rude in their culture." They entered a large meeting room where the Zephyrian delegation waited. Nathan stopped and stared. He had seen pictures before, but seeing them in person was different. The Zephyrians were tall, about 7 feet high, with bodies that looked like they were made of living crystal. Their skin was translucent and glowed with soft blue light from within. They wore flowing robes that seemed to be made of some kind of metal fabric. "Welcome," said the lead Zephyrian in accented English. His voice was deep and musical. "I am High Counselor Vexai. We are honored by your presence." Nathan bowed slightly as Lisa had taught him. "I am Dr. Nathan Brooks. I'm here to conduct the required medical screenings." The medical screenings were standard procedure before any important diplomatic meeting. Both sides needed to make sure no one was carrying diseases that could harm the other species. Nathan had studied Zephyrian biology for months to prepare for this moment. He set up his equipment on a small table. The scanner looked like a large tablet with several sensor attachments. "This will not hurt," he explained to the first Zephyrian. "It just takes readings of your body functions." The first few aliens stepped forward without problems. Nathan's scanner showed normal readings for their species. Their internal light pulsed steadily, and their crystalline structure looked healthy. Everything was going smoothly until High Counselor Vexai approached the scanner. Nathan frowned as he looked at the readings. Something was wrong. Vexai's inner light was dim and flickering like a dying bulb. His crystalline structure showed stress fractures that weren't visible to the naked eye. The scanner detected unusual radiation signatures in his bloodstream. "Counselor Vexai," Nathan said carefully, "are you feeling well?" "My scanner shows some concerning readings." The other Zephyrians suddenly became very still. Their glowing grew brighter, which Nathan had learned meant they were agitated. Vexai's light dimmed even more. "I am functional," Vexai said slowly. His voice sounded tired. "Perhaps I could run some additional tests," Nathan suggested. "I might be able to help with whatever is causing these symptoms." The reaction was immediate and shocking. The other Zephyrians stepped back from Vexai as if he had some terrible disease. Their lights flashed angry red colors. One of them, a female with intricate patterns carved into her crystal skin, spoke harshly in their own language. "What did I say wrong?" Nathan asked Lisa quietly. Lisa looked confused too. She had never seen Zephyrians react this way before. Not sure, let me ask." She approached the female Zephyrian. "High Healer Telenara, have we offended you somehow?" Telenara's eyes, which were like faceted gems, fixed on Nathan with obvious dislike. "Your doctor offers to heal one who has drunk star poison. This is either ignorance or insult." "Star poison?" Nathan had never heard the term before. It is our most sacred punishment, Telenara explained coldly. Only given to those who commit the most shameful acts. High Counselor Vexhai consumed it willingly after being accused of cowardice in battle. Nathan's mind raced. A poison that caused the symptoms he was seeing. But surely there must be some treatment. In human medicine, we found cures for many things that were once considered fatal. The room fell completely silent. The Zephyrian's lights turned deep red, which Nathan now realized meant they were very angry. Even Vexhai looked shocked by what Nathan had said. "You dare suggest," Telenara said in a voice like breaking glass, "that your primitive human medicine could cure what our advanced civilization has studied for thousands of years?" "I didn't mean to offend," Nathan said quickly. "I was just offering to help. Star poison is made from the concentrated radiation of dying stars," Telenara continued. "It destroys the body from within, breaking down the very essence of life. No being in the galaxy has ever survived it. Those who drink it are meant to die. It is the will of the universe." Nathan looked at Vexhai, who was swaying slightly on his feet. The alien's light was getting dimmer by the minute. "How long does it take?" he asked. 7 solar cycles, Telenara said. "Today is the 5th day. Soon, the counselor will join his ancestors, and his shame will be cleansed." "But that's murder," Nathan protested. "You're just letting him die." The Zephyrian's lights flared brighter. Lisa quickly stepped between Nathan and the angry aliens. "Dr. Brooks meant no disrespect. He's just concerned about a patient's welfare." "Vexhai is no longer a patient," Telenara said firmly. "He is a condemned criminal who chose his fate. Your doctor's offer to interfere with sacred justice is deeply offensive." Nathan wanted to argue more, but Lisa grabbed his arm. "We need to respect their customs," she whispered. "Don't make this worse." The medical screening continued, but the atmosphere had changed completely. The Zephyrians answered Nathan's questions with short, cold responses. They clearly wanted to finish as quickly as possible and get away from him. As Nathan packed his equipment, he couldn't stop thinking about Vexhai. The alien had moved to the back of the room and was sitting quietly. His light was so dim now that Nathan could barely see the glow. Whatever this star poison was, it was killing him slowly and painfully. "Why did he drink it?" Nathan asked Lisa as they prepared to leave. "From what I understand, there was a battle with space pirates last month. Some of his soldiers were captured. Vexhai had a chance to rescue them but chose to retreat instead. His people called him a coward, so he poisoned himself. It's their way of restoring honor. By accepting the punishment, he admits his guilt and cleanses his shame." Nathan shook his head. "That's not honor, that's just slow suicide." As they walked back to their ship, Nathan couldn't get the image of Vexhai out of his mind. The alien had 2 days left to live, and everyone was just accepting it. In human medicine, they never gave up on a patient. There was always hope, always something to try. "Lisa," he said as they reached the Mercy's light, "what if there really is a cure?" "Nathan, don't even think about it. We can't interfere with their customs. It would cause a diplomatic incident." "But what if I'm right? What if human medicine really could save him?" Lisa stopped and looked at him seriously. "Then you'd better be very careful about what you do next. Because if you're wrong, you could start a war." Nathan nodded, but his mind was already working. He had 2 days to figure out how to save an alien's life, whether his own people wanted him to or not. Nathan couldn't sleep that night. He kept thinking about Vexhai sitting alone in the diplomatic quarters, slowly dying while everyone pretended it was normal. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the alien's dimming light and heard Telenara's cold words about primitive human medicine. At 3 in the morning, he gave up trying to sleep and went to the medical lab. The Mercy's light was quiet except for the soft hum of the engines. Nathan turned on his computer and started researching everything he could find about star poison. The records were limited. Most of what humans knew came from diplomatic reports and cultural studies. Star poison was described as a ritual drink made from the concentrated radiation of dying stars. The Zephyrians had used it for thousands of years as their ultimate punishment. No one had ever survived it, and no one had ever tried to cure it. Nathan pulled up the medical scans he had taken of HFY. The readings were unlike anything he had seen before. The alien's body was breaking down at the cellular level. Whatever was in the star poison was destroying his crystalline structure from the inside out. Can't sleep either? Nathan turned to see Dr. Amy Chun entering the lab. She was a small woman with black hair pulled back in a ponytail. Amy was the ship's quantum physicist, but she had studied xenobiology too. She was one of the few people who might understand what Nathan was thinking. I keep wondering if there's really no cure, Nathan said. The Zephyrians have given up, but what if they're wrong? Amy sat down at the computer next to him. Show me the scans. Nathan pulled up HFY's readings on the large screen. Amy studied them carefully, her eyes moving across the data. This is fascinating, she said. Look at these radiation signatures. What do you see? The star poison isn't just one thing. It's a mixture of different types of exotic radiation. Some of these particles I've only seen in laboratory experiments. Amy pointed to several peaks on the graph. This one here is from stellar collapse. This one is from quantum decay, and this one... What? This one is similar to what we see in solar radiation. The kind that hits planets every day? Amy looked excited now. Nathan, I think I know what this poison really is. Nathan leaned forward. Tell me, it's not magic, it's just very advanced chemistry. The Zephyrians have figured out how to concentrate and combine different types of radiation into a deadly cocktail. But the basic components are things we deal with all the time. So it can be cured? Maybe. The question is how. Amy pulled up another screen showing human cellular structure. Look at this. Humans evolved on Earth under constant solar radiation. Our cells have natural repair mechanisms that other species don't have. Nathan studied the comparison. You're saying humans are naturally resistant to radiation? More than resistant. We're adapted to it. Our cells can actually use certain types of radiation to repair themselves. It's why humans can survive in space longer than most other species. But would that work on Zephyrians? Amy was quiet for a moment. I don't know, but there's something else. Remember the Proxima mining disaster 3 years ago? Nathan nodded. He had been part of the medical team that treated the survivors. A radiation leak at a mining station had exposed dozens of workers to lethal doses of exotic particles. Most of the workers died, Amy continued. But a few survived. The ones who lived had something special in their blood. An enzyme that could neutralize certain types of radiation. I remember that case. The enzyme was produced naturally by about 5% of humans. Right, and you were one of the doctors who helped isolate it. Amy turned to look at Nathan directly. What if that same enzyme could neutralize star poison? Nathan felt his heart beating faster. But Zephyrians don't have that enzyme. Their biology is completely different. What if we could make it work anyway? What if we could synthesize the enzyme and introduce it into Zephyrian biology? That's crazy. We don't know enough about how their bodies work. Amy smiled. Maybe not. But we have HFY's medical scans, and we have about 30 hours before it's too late to try anything. Nathan stared at the computer screen. The idea was insane. They would be experimenting on a dying alien with untested treatments. If they were wrong, they could kill him faster than the poison would. Even if it worked, Nathan said slowly, the Zephyrians would never allow it. They think their medicine is superior to ours. Then we don't tell them. Nathan looked at Amy in shock. You're suggesting we treat him in secret? I'm suggesting we save his life. Isn't that what doctors do? The next morning, Nathan attended the formal diplomatic dinner. It was held in the station's grand dining hall with long tables and fancy decorations. The humans sat on one side, the Zephyrians on the other. The mood was tense after yesterday's incident. HFY was there, but he looked terrible. His light was so dim that Nathan could barely see it. The alien was clearly struggling to stay conscious. Other Zephyrians avoided looking at him directly. Nathan had brought his medical scanner, disguised as a regular tablet. During the meal, he quietly took readings of HFY from across the room. The results were worse than he had feared. The star poison was accelerating. At this rate, Vexai would die within 24 hours. How's the food? Lisa asked, noticing that Nathan hadn't touched his meal. Fine, Nathan lied. He was too nervous to eat. His scanner was collecting data on Zephyrian biology that could save Vexai's life, but he felt like he was betraying his own people by doing it secretly. After dinner there were speeches. The Zephyrian ambassador talked about peace and cooperation. The human ambassador said nice things about friendship between species. Nathan barely listened. He was watching Vexai, who was swaying in his chair, when the formal event ended. Nathan hurried back to the medical lab. Amy was waiting for him with new data on the computer screen. I've been running simulations, she said. The enzyme synthesis is possible, but it's complicated. We would need to combine human genetic material with Zephyrian biology. How? Blood. Transfusion, but not ordinary blood. We would need to extract the enzyme from human plasma, modify it to work with Zephyrian cells, and then introduce it directly into his bloodstream. Nathan felt his stomach drop. That means someone would have to donate their blood. Not just donate. The donor would have to be exposed to controlled radiation to activate the enzyme. It's dangerous for humans too. How dangerous? Amy hesitated. Possibly fatal. The radiation exposure needed to activate the enzyme could cause permanent damage. To human cells, Nathan was quiet for a long moment. What about success rates? I don't know. This has never been tried before. We're basically guessing, and if we do nothing? Vexai dies tomorrow? Nathan walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, families were sleeping peacefully because diplomats like Vexai worked to keep peace between species. The alien had made one mistake, one moment of fear, and now he was dying for it. I'll do it, Nathan said. Nathan, you don't understand. This could kill you. And doing nothing will definitely kill him. Nathan turned back to Amy. You said the enzyme works best in people who survived radiation exposure, right? Yes, but ... I was at Proxima. I was exposed to the same radiation that killed those miners. If anyone has a chance of surviving this, it's me. Amy looked at him with worried eyes. What about the diplomatic consequences? If the Zephyrians find out what we're doing ... then we make sure they don't find out. Nathan sat down at the computer and started making plans. We need to get Vexai to the medical bay without anyone knowing. Can you set up the equipment? Amy nodded slowly. I can have everything ready in 2 hours. Good, I'll figure out how to contact Vexai privately. As Amy worked on the medical equipment, Nathan composed a message on his tablet. He wrote it in simple English, hoping that Vexai would understand. The message was short and direct. He offered to meet secretly in the medical bay to discuss a possible treatment. Nathan had no idea if the alien would come. For all he knew, Vexai would report him to the Zephyrian authorities. But as he watched the alien's light grow dimmer through the day, Nathan knew he had to try. The future of two species might depend on whether a dying alien would trust a human doctor with an impossible cure. Nathan waited in the medical bay, his hands shaking slightly as he checked the equipment one more time. Amy had worked all night to prepare everything they would need. The radiation chamber hummed quietly in the corner, ready to activate the enzymes in Nathan's blood. The synthesizer that would modify his plasma for Zephyrian biology sat on the main table, its blue lights blinking steadily. Are you sure about this? Amy asked for the 10th time. She looked tired and worried. We don't have to do this. We could just let nature take its course. Would you? Nathan asked. If you could save someone's life by taking a risk, would you walk away? Amy was quiet. They both knew the answer. The door to the medical bay opened with a soft hiss. Vexai entered slowly, moving like an old man even though Nathan knew Zephyrians could live for centuries. The alien's light was so dim it was barely visible. His crystalline skin had a grayish color that meant his body was shutting down. Dr. Brooks, Vexai said in a voice like whispered wind, I received your message, though I do not understand why you wish to help me. Nathan gestured for the alien to sit on the examination table. Because you're dying and I might be able to stop it. My people believe death from star poison cannot be stopped. Our greatest healers have tried for thousands of years. Maybe they were looking in the wrong place, Nathan said gently. Sometimes the answer comes from unexpected sources. Vexai studied Nathan with his gem-like eyes. You truly believe you can cure what has killed countless Zephyrians before? Me? I believe I can try. But I need to explain what the treatment involves. Nathan pulled up a holographic display showing the process. The star poison is destroying your cells faster than they can repair themselves. Humans have an enzyme that can neutralize similar radiation. I want to modify that enzyme to work with your biology. And how would you do this? Nathan took a deep breath. I would need to expose myself to controlled radiation to activate the enzyme in my blood. Then we would extract it, modify it for your physiology, and inject it into your system. Vexai's light flickered with what Nathan had learned was surprise. You would risk your own life for mine? Yes, but why? I am a stranger to you. A coward who let his own soldiers die. Nathan sat down across from the alien. I don't know what really happened in that battle, but I know you're not a coward. A coward wouldn't have come here tonight. For the first time since Nathan had met him, Vexai's light grew slightly brighter. Your words are kind, Dr. Brooks, but even if your treatment works, my people will never accept it. They believe I should die for my shame. Then we don't tell them until after you're cured. And if the treatment fails? Nathan looked at Amy, then back at Vexai. Then you die a few hours sooner than you would have anyway. But at least we will. Have tried. Vexai was quiet for a long moment. His breathing was labored, and Nathan could see pain in his alien features. What are the risks to you? The radiation exposure could cause permanent damage to my cells. It could kill me, and you are willing to accept this risk? I became a doctor to save lives. That's what I'm going to do. Vexai slowly nodded. Then I accept your offer, Dr. Brooks. If I am to die, let it be in the pursuit of life rather than the acceptance of death. Amy had been listening quietly. Now she stepped forward. We need to start immediately. Your cellular degradation is accelerating. Nathan moved to the radiation chamber. It was a small room with thick walls and a window for observation. Inside was a chair surrounded by carefully calibrated radiation emitters. This will take about 20 minutes, he told Vexai. Amy will monitor my vital signs. Nathan, Amy said quietly, are you absolutely sure about this? No, Nathan admitted, but I'm doing it anyway. He entered the chamber and sat in the chair. Amy sealed the door and activated the controls from outside. Nathan felt a warm, tingling sensation as the radiation began to activate the enzymes in his bloodstream. The levels were carefully controlled, but they were still dangerous. Levels are rising, Amy reported. Your enzyme production is increasing. Nathan watched the readings on his wrist monitor. His body was producing the radiation-neutralizing enzyme at 10 times the normal rate. He could feel his cells working harder, burning energy to protect themselves from the controlled radiation. 10 minutes remaining, Amy announced. Nathan looked through the window at Vexai. The alien was watching him with an expression that Nathan couldn't read. Was it gratitude? Confusion? Fear? Why are you doing this? Vexai asked through the intercom. Because it's the right thing to do, Nathan replied. In human medicine we have a saying. First, do no harm. But sometimes doing no harm means taking risks to save lives. Your people are strange, Vexai sighed. We Zephyrians value honor above life. You humans seem to value life above honor. Maybe that's why we need each other, Nathan said. Maybe we can learn from each other. The radiation treatment finished without major complications. Nathan felt weak and nauseous, but the monitors showed his enzyme levels were perfect. Amy quickly drew several vials of his blood and moved to the synthesizer. Now comes the hard part, she said. I need to modify your enzymes to work with Zephyrian biology. While Amy worked, Nathan rested on a medical bed next to Vexai. The alien's condition was getting worse by the minute. His light was so dim that Nathan had to use instruments to monitor his vital signs. How long do I have? Vexai asked. Nathan checked the readings. Maybe 6 hours, 8 at the most. And how long will your treatment take? Amy needs 2 hours to prepare the enzymes. The injection process will take another hour. Then we wait to see if it works. So we will know soon if your human medicine can accomplish what Zephyrian science could not. Nathan nodded. Are you scared? Yes, Vexai admitted. Not of dying, but of what happens if I live. My people have already rejected me. If I survive through human intervention, I will be even more of an outcast. Maybe they'll see that cooperation between our species can achieve great things. You are optimistic for someone who just risked his life for a stranger, Nathan smiled weakly. I have to be. If I wasn't optimistic, I wouldn't be a doctor. Amy looked up from the synthesizer. I'm getting unusual readings. The enzyme is reacting differently than I expected with the Zephyrian biological samples. Is that bad? Nathan asked. I don't know. The enzyme is changing structure. It's becoming something new. Nathan forced himself to sit up. New how? It's not just neutralizing the radiation anymore. It's enhancing cellular repair functions. If this works, it won't just cure the poison. It might actually make Vexai healthier than he was before. Nathan and Vexai exchanged glances. That's impossible, Vexai said. Maybe not, Amy replied. Human and Zephyrian biology are more compatible than anyone thought. The enzyme is creating a hybrid effect. What does that mean? Nathan asked. It means we're not just curing star poison. We're creating something entirely new. Just then, the medical bay door opened. Captain Lisa Morgan entered, followed by 2 security officers. Her face was grim. Dr. Brooks, she said formally, you're under arrest for violating diplomatic protocols and endangering interspecies relations. Nathan felt his heart sink. Lisa, please, we're almost done. The Zephyrian delegation knows what you're doing. They're demanding that we stop immediately and hand over all research data. But he'll die, Nathan protested. That's not our decision to make, Lisa replied. I'm sorry, Nathan. I tried to give you time, but Telenara figured out what was happening. Stepped protectively in front of the synthesizer. You can't stop us now. We're too close. I have my orders, Lisa said sadly. Shut down the equipment and step away. Nathan looked at Vexai, who was watching everything with dying eyes. They had come so far, risked so much, and now it was all going to end because of politics and pride. Please, Nathan said to Lisa, give us 1 more hour. I can't. The Zephyrians are threatening to end diplomatic relations if we continue. Nathan made a decision that would change everything. Then we'll have to work faster. Nathan moved faster than he had ever moved in his life. While Lisa argued with Amy about shutting down the equipment, he grabbed the modified enzyme solution from the synthesizer. The clear liquid glowed with a soft blue light, looking almost alive in the container. Nathan, stop, Lisa ordered. That's a direct command. Court-martial me later, Nathan replied, preparing the injection device. Right now, I have a patient to save. Vexai watched everything with wide eyes. His light was so dim that Nathan could barely see him breathing. Dr. Brooks, perhaps you should listen to your captain. No, Nathan said firmly. We've come too far to quit now. Amy suddenly stepped between Nathan and the security officers. You want to stop us? You'll have to go through me first. Lisa looked frustrated. Amy, don't make this harder than it needs to be. This alien is going to die in the next few hours, Amy said. We have a cure that might work. What's more important, politics or a life? Before Lisa could answer, the medical bay door opened again. High Healer Telenara entered with 3 other Zephyrians. Their lights were flashing angry red colors. Telenara's crystalline features were twisted with rage. Stop this madness immediately, Telenara demanded. You are interfering with sacred justice. Nathan held the injection device protectively. I'm trying to save a life. You are trying to corrupt our most ancient traditions with your primitive medicine, Telenara replied. Star poison cannot be cured. It is the will of the universe. Maybe the universe wants us to find a cure, Nathan said. Maybe that's why humans and Zephyrians met in the first place. Telenara's light flashed brighter. Blasphemy. Your species knows nothing of the cosmic order. Vexai tried to sit up on the examination table. His voice was barely a whisper. Telenara, please. Let him try? You have disgraced yourself enough, Vexai. Do not make it worse by accepting help from these creatures. Nathan felt anger rising in his chest. These creatures are trying to save your friend's life. Vexai is no longer our friend. He is a coward who abandoned his duty. He made one mistake, Nathan said. One moment of fear doesn't erase a lifetime of service. In our culture it does, Telenara replied coldly. Amy was still monitoring Vexai's vital signs. Nathan, his cellular structure is collapsing faster. If we're going to do this, it has to be now. Nathan looked around the room. Lisa and her security officers blocked one exit. Telenara and the Zephyrians blocked the other. Amy stood next to the monitoring equipment. Vexai lay dying on the table between them all. I'm going to inject him, Nathan announced. Anyone who tries to stop me will have to use force. Dr. Brooks, Lisa said sadly, I can't let you do this. Then shoot me, Nathan replied. Because that's the only way you're going to stop me, Lisa hesitated. She had known Nathan for 3 years. She knew he was a good doctor and a good man. But she also had her orders. Telenara had no such hesitation. She moved toward Nathan with surprising speed. I will stop this myself. Nathan stepped back, holding the injection device away from her. Stay back. Give me that device, human. No. Telenara reached for the injection, but Amy suddenly grabbed her arm. Don't touch him, release me, creature. Not until you calm down. The room erupted in chaos. The other Zephyrians moved to help Telenara. The security officers moved to restore order. Nathan found himself pressed against the wall, still holding the injection device. Enough, Vexai said weakly. Everyone stopped and looked at the dying alien. Enough, Vexai repeated, his voice stronger. I am the one who will live or die. The choice should be mine. Telenara pulled free from Amy's grip. You have no right to choose. You forfeited that right when you drank the star poison. Perhaps, Vexai said, but I am still a citizen of the Zephyrian Empire, and I choose to accept Dr. Brooks' treatment. I forbid it, Telenara said. You cannot forbid a dying being his last request, Vexai replied. Even our oldest laws recognize that right. Telenara's lights flickered with uncertainty. Vexai was correct. Zephyrian law did give condemned criminals the right to make final requests. Nathan seized the moment. Vexai, do you consent to this treatment, knowing the risks? I do, the alien replied clearly. Nathan moved quickly to the examination table. Telenara started toward him again, but Vexai raised his hand. If you interfere with my final request, you violate our most sacred laws. Vexai warned. Telenara stopped, her face twisted with rage and frustration. Nathan placed the injection device against Vexai's arm. The alien's skin was cool and hard like stone. This might hurt, Nathan warned. I'm already dying, Vexai replied. How much worse can it be? Nathan pressed the trigger. The modified enzyme solution flowed into Vexai's bloodstream. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Vexai's eyes went wide with surprise. I feel strange, he said. Amy watched the monitors intently. His cellular activity is increasing. The enzyme is spreading through his system. Vexai's light, which had been barely visible, began to grow brighter. Not much at first, just a slight increase, but everyone in the room could see it. Impossible, Telenara whispered. The change accelerated. Vexai's light grew brighter and brighter. The gray color of his skin began to clear, revealing the natural crystal clarity underneath. His breathing became easier and deeper. How do you feel? Nathan asked. Better, Vexai said with wonder in his voice. Much better. The pain is going away. Amy checked her instruments. The radiation levels in his blood are dropping rapidly. The enzyme is neutralizing the star poison. Telenara stared in shock. This cannot be happening. But it was happening. Vexai's light continued to grow brighter. Within minutes, he was glowing more brilliantly than Nathan had ever seen a Zephyrian glow. The alien sat up on the examination table, moving with strength he hadn't shown in days. "I feel stronger than I have in years," Vexhai said in amazement. Amy looked at her readings and gasped, "Nathan, look at this! The enzyme isn't just curing the poison. It's enhancing his natural cellular functions. His body is repairing damage that was done months ago." Nathan stared at the monitors. Amy was right. Vexhai wasn't just recovering from the star poison. He was becoming healthier than he had been before drinking it. "This is impossible," Telenara repeated, but her voice had changed. The anger was being replaced by confusion and fear. "Maybe," Nathan said. "Or maybe this is what happens when two species work together instead of apart." Vexhai stood up from the examination table. His light was now so bright that everyone had to shield their eyes slightly. He looked like a living star. "Dr. Brooks," he said formally, "you have given me back my life. How can I ever repay such a gift?" "Just live," Nathan replied. "Live and help us prove that cooperation between our species is possible." But even as Nathan felt triumph at saving Vexhai's life, he knew their problems were just beginning. Telenara and the other Zephyrians were staring at Vexhai with expressions of horror and disbelief. The cure had worked better than anyone could have imagined. But that might make things worse instead of better. If star poison could be cured, what did that mean for Zephyrian culture and justice? If a human could accomplish what their greatest healers could not, what did that say about their advanced civilization? Nathan had saved one life, but he might have started a crisis that could affect both their species for generations to come. Lisa stepped forward, her face grim. "Nathan, what have you done?" Nathan looked at Vexhai, glowing like a beacon of hope in the medical bay. "I saved someone's life. Isn't that what doctors are supposed to do?" But as he watched Telenara's shocked expression, Nathan realized that sometimes saving one life could complicate everything else. The news of Vexhai's miraculous recovery spread through Kepler-7 like wildfire. Within hours, representatives from both the Human Colonial Federation and the Zephyrian High Council were demanding explanations. Nathan found himself in the station's main conference room, facing a panel of officials who looked very unhappy. "Dr. Brooks," said Admiral Parker, the senior human representative, "do you understand the magnitude of what you've done?" Nathan sat straight in his chair. "I saved a life, sir." "You may have started an interstellar incident," Admiral Parker replied. "The Zephyrians are claiming you've corrupted their most sacred traditions." At the other end of the table, High Counselor Zethmar spoke in his deep, musical voice. "The human doctor has made a mockery of our justice system. If star poison can be cured, then our entire legal framework becomes meaningless." Nathan looked at the assembled officials. "With respect, maybe it's time to question a legal system that relies on slow poison to punish mistakes." The room erupted. In angry voices, several Zephyrians flashed red lights. Admiral Parker slammed his hand on the table for silence. "Dr. Brooks," the Admiral said, "you're not helping your case." "I'm not trying to make a case," Nathan replied. "I'm trying to explain that cooperation between our species can achieve incredible things." "Cooperation?" High Counselor Zethmar's voice was cold. "You acted without permission, using methods we consider primitive and dangerous." Amy, who was sitting next to Nathan as his scientific advisor, spoke up. "Dangerous?" "The treatment worked perfectly. Vexhai is healthier now than he's been in years." "That is precisely the problem," said Telenara, who had been quiet until now. "Vexhai should have died. His survival undermines everything we believe about cosmic justice." Captain Lisa Morgan, who was also at the table, looked uncomfortable. "Perhaps we could find a compromise. Dr. Brooks' methods were unorthodox, but his intentions were good." "Intentions do not matter," Zethmar replied. "Actions have consequences. The human doctor must face punishment for his interference." Nathan was about to respond when the conference room doors opened. Vexhai entered, his crystalline form glowing brighter than anyone had ever seen a Zephyrian glow. He moved with confident steps, no longer the dying alien from yesterday. "High Counselor Zethmar," Vexhai said formally, I request permission to address this assembly. Zethmar's lights flickered with annoyance. You have no standing here, Vexai. You are a condemned criminal. Am I? Vexai asked. I drank star poison as punishment for my actions. I suffered as the law required. I died as far as our justice system is concerned. But then I was reborn through the cooperation of two species. Perhaps this changes things. Nathan watched the exchange with interest. Vexai was using Zephyrian law and philosophy to defend what had happened. You cannot be reborn from star poison, Telenara said firmly. It is impossible. Yet here I stand, Vexai replied, stronger and healthier than I have ever been. If this is not rebirth, what would you call it? The Zephyrian officials exchanged uncertain glances. Their law books had never considered the possibility of someone surviving star poison. Admiral Parker seized the moment. Perhaps we should focus on the practical implications. Dr. Brooks has discovered a treatment that could save lives in the future. Whose lives? Zethmar asked. Star poison is used only for our most serious criminals. Today it's star poison, Amy interjected. Tomorrow it might be other radiation-based diseases. The enzyme we created could help both our species in ways we haven't even imagined yet. Nathan stood up. High Counselor Zethmar, with your permission, I'd like to make a proposal. Zethmar's gem-like eyes fixed on Nathan. Speak. 3 days from now, 3 more Zephyrians are scheduled to drink star poison for various crimes. Let me treat them too. If the cure works again, we'll have proof. That this isn't just a fluke. The room fell silent. Nathan knew he was taking a huge risk. If the treatment failed on the other Zephyrians, it would prove Telenara right about human medicine being primitive. Absolutely not, Telenara said immediately. We will not allow you to experiment on more of our people. What if they volunteer? Vexai asked. What if they choose to accept the treatment rather than die? They cannot choose, Zethmar said. They have been condemned by our courts. But they have the right to make final requests, Vexai pointed out. I use that right to accept Dr. Brooks' treatment. They could do the same. Nathan could see the Zephyrian officials struggling with their own laws. Their legal system was thousands of years old and very complex. The idea of someone surviving star poison had never been considered. Amy pulled up a holographic display showing the enzyme research. The treatment isn't just about curing poison. We've discovered that human and Zephyrian biology are amazingly compatible. Working together, we could develop cures for diseases that affect both our species. Interesting, said Dr. Williams, a human scientist who had been quiet until now. What other applications might this have? Radiation sickness, cellular degeneration, possibly even aging, Amy explained. The enzyme creates a hybrid effect that enhances natural healing in both human and Zephyrian cells. Admiral Parker leaned forward. Are you saying this could lead to medical breakthroughs for everyone? Exactly, Nathan said. But only if we work together. Only if we combine human adaptability with Zephyrian knowledge. Zethmar was quiet for a long moment. Nathan could see the alien leader thinking through the implications. If we allow these experiments, what guarantees do we have? None, Nathan admitted. Medical research always involves risks, but the potential benefits far outweigh the dangers. And if the treatments fail, if the other condemned Zephyrians die? Then at least we tried to save them, Nathan replied. And we learned something that might help others in the future, Vexai stepped forward. High Counselor, I offer myself as proof that this treatment works. I volunteered to help Dr. Brooks with his research. You would work with humans? Telenara asked in shock. I would work with anyone who seeks to preserve life rather than destroy it. Vexai replied firmly. The debate continued for several more hours. Arguments flew back and forth between the human and Zephyrian representatives. Some supported Nathan's proposal, others opposed it strongly. But gradually a consensus began to emerge. Finally, Admiral Parker called for a vote. All in favor of allowing Dr. Brooks to treat the 3 condemned Zephyrians with their consent. The humans voted unanimously in favor. The Zephyrians were split, but Zethmar cast the deciding vote. The proposal is approved, Admiral Parker announced. Dr. Brooks, you have 3 days to prepare. As the meeting ended, Nathan felt both excited and terrified. He had gotten what he wanted, but now he had to prove that the cure wasn't just luck. Vex-High approached him as the officials filed out. Dr. Brooks, I want to thank you again for saving my life. Thank me by helping me save the others. Nathan replied, I will. And I have an idea that might help with the Zephyrian resistance to human medicine. What kind of idea? Vex-High's light pulsed with what Nathan had learned was amusement. What if we called it Zephyrian human medicine instead? What if we made it clear that this is a partnership, not a human takeover? Nathan smiled. You mean give your people credit for the discovery too? Your enzyme provided the cure, but our biology made it work better than anyone expected. This really is a joint discovery. Amy joined them, carrying data tablets. I've been thinking about that too. The enzyme works because human and Zephyrian biology complement each other perfectly. It's like we were meant to work together. Maybe we were, Nathan said, looking out the conference room window at the stars. Maybe this is why our species met in the first place. 3 days later, Nathan successfully treated the 3 condemned Zephyrians. Not only did they survive, but like Vex-High, they became healthier and stronger than ever before. The success led to the establishment of the first human Zephyrian Medical Research Institute. With Nathan as its director and Vex-High as his primary partner, the cure for star poison became a symbol of what cooperation between species could achieve. More importantly, it opened the door to medical discoveries that benefited both humans and Zephyrians for generations to come. Nathan never regretted risking his life to save a dying alien. Sometimes, he reflected, the greatest breakthroughs come from simply refusing to give up on someone others have written off. And sometimes, saving one life can change the course of history for entire civilizations.